When we picture a high-growth revenue system, we usually think of this scene of controlled chaos, right? Aggressive targets, constant motion, this frantic energy all over the place. But the real sign of a healthy, scalable system is the complete and total absence of that feeling. When a system is really, truly working, it just operates quietly. It's efficient. That frantic energy that we so often mistake for progress, that's usually just a symptom of friction. It's a sign that something's being forced instead of just flowing the way it should. All that constant firefighting, the last-minute scrambles to hit a number, those aren't signs of high ambition. They're actually symptoms of a system that's reactive, not predictive. A system that's actually stable, well, it anticipates what's coming, so it almost never has to rush. And that, right there, brings us to the core paradox of all of this. A stable, healthy revenue system, it feels kind of boring. And I don't mean that as a criticism at all. This boring is the feeling of predictability. It's the calm that you get from knowing the machine just works, quarter after quarter. And that feeling is the truest sign of stability you're ever going to find. So this is the central paradox we have to wrestle with. We've got to shift our whole perception away from celebrating chaos and start to really understand the immense power that comes from calm. So let's get into what this stability actually is. So many leaders, maybe you, expect growth to feel explosive, unpredictable. But real system stability, it isn't about that at all. It's about predictability, even when you're under pressure. It's having the confidence that even when the market shifts or things get crazy internally, the system itself is going to hold. So, on the ground, what does this actually feel like? Well, you start seeing fewer surprises in your forecast. You start having fewer of those circular debates about fundamental strategy. And you definitely have fewer reversals on decisions that were just made a quarter ago. Things stop changing all the time because the core of it has proven to be sound. Okay, so if stability means things stop changing, then what exactly is it that settles? Well, when a revenue system really matures, a sort of foundational core locks into place. I want you to think of it like the load-bearing walls of your entire revenue architecture. Now, this is a really critical point. When revenue is stable, it's not just because your teams are more aligned or they're communicating better, it's because the system itself, its actual architecture, no longer allows for any drift from those core principles. It has structural integrity. So what are these fixed points? They're the big pillars, right? The core decisions about who you sell to and why you sell to them. The really clear boundaries of ownership between marketing and sales and customer success. The single, unified revenue narrative you tell the board. And of course, the shared expectations of performance across every single team. These are the big questions you just stop relitigating every single quarter. Now, I know, hearing words like boring or unchanging can make a lot of leaders really nervous. You're probably thinking, does stability just mean stagnation? And the answer to that is a hard no. We have to be really precise here in distinguishing between productive stability and just chaotic, pointless activity. And this slide really gets to the heart of the distinction. Stable systems, they actually enable speed. Because that foundation is so solid, you can experiment, you can adapt with confidence, and you're not going to break the entire machine. Stagnant systems, on the other hand, they're just drowning in indecision. Everything is constantly changing, precisely because nothing foundational ever gets settled. So this really leads to the most essential question that every founder and every revenue leader has got to ask. Just look at all the activity in your organization, all the meetings, the initiatives, the strategy shifts. Are you actually building on a stable foundation? Or are you just busy? Answering that question can't just be based on a gut feeling. It's not enough. We have to move from assumption to a really clear-eyed assessment, and that requires a diagnostic approach. The answer to this isn't going to be on your dashboard. You have to look deeper than that. All that constant churn you might be seeing, is it tactical or is it structural? Are you just tweaking things on the surface, or are there actual cracks in the foundation? To figure that out, you need a diagnosis. And this is exactly why a formal revenue system diagnostic is so valuable. Now, this isn't a checklist, it's not a playbook. Think of it as a lens. It's a framework that's designed to help you assess the structural integrity of your system and answer that one crucial question: are you actually safe to scale? And this really is the most critical point of all. Systems don't break because your people get tired or because they stop trying. Revenue systems fail because a fundamental instability goes completely undiagnosed. It's the silent killer of growth, those cracks in the foundation that you didn't see before you tried to build the next floor. So, before you pour another dollar into scaling, before you invest in automation, before you try to optimize one more tactic, just pause. Use a diagnostic lens to figure out where you truly stand. Diagnose first. Only then can you build with any real confidence.